It's Friday, everybody. Word on the street. It's time. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving. What are you doing today? We're having a great conversation. We got some great guests. Word on the street, episode 183. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining Word on the Street. I'm Trey Griggs, your host and founder and CEO of Beta Consulting Group. So excited that you're with us today. We've got a great show. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving. Lots of plans next week. Short work week. Get that freight moving. And hopefully you guys can get a chance to rest and relax with your families out there. Get a couple of days to reset and recharge. Couple of things to say before we bring in our street crew. We got a couple of events to think about. It's budget season, but we're already thinking about April and May and March and February and all the events that are going to happen next spring. So a couple things to think about before you get to that. Don't forget to check out Wreaths Across America. December 16th is their annual event. You don't want to miss it. Go to wreathsacrossamerica.org. You can either donate money for a wreath. You can participate in terms of laying the wreath on the tombstones, or if you're a trucker or a carrier company, you can volunteer truckloads to get these wreaths to where they need to go. So again, check them out at wreathsacrossamerica.org. If you want to drive a truck for them, drive a load, go to trucking@wreathsacrossamerica.org. Send them an email, let them know that you're interested. A couple of events to put on your radar. If they're not already on your radar, make sure you see us in Manifest next year in Vegas, February 5 through 7. We are a proud partner with Manifest, and so you can use our coupon code. If you go to Manifest, which has a dot between the E and the S, if you go to Manifest online and slash Word on the Street, Manifest / Word on the Street with a little dot between the E and the S, then you can get $200 off of your registration. We'd love to see you out there. It's going to be a great time. I'm not sure who's closing out the show this year, but it's going to be great. The last 2 years have been Ludacris and Nelly, so you never know. It's going to be great. Also, make sure you write these down as well. In April, we got the Broker Carrier Summit in Kansas City, April 22 through 24. You can go to brokercarriersummit.com, learn more about that event. Hope to see you there. It's going to be a great event talking with brokers and carriers about the problems in the industry. And then also throw this one on your calendar, June 9 through 11 in New Orleans. TMSA has its annual Elevate conference. Make sure that you attend that one as well, especially if you're in sales and marketing. Incredible group, great collaboration, phenomenal organization, ran by guest street crew host Jennifer Carpus-Romaine, and she's got an event coming up. We're going to talk about that later on today as well. So go to events.tmsatoday.org to learn more about that. All right, listen, that's enough about the announcements. Time to bring in the street crew. We got a great show for you today. Coming to us from Chicago, he's back, everybody. The strongest man in logistics. Give it up for our good friend Robert Bain in the house. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Just ripping shit up around here, man. That's what you do. Just breaking stuff. I love it.
Well, that's what we do, man.
You're back.
I'm back. Finally.
Dude, it's good to have you back, man. Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Life is good, man. Life is good. Hey, listen, I'm excited too. We're going to talk about what's happening, but the Broker Carrier Summit, that was killer. Can't wait. 750 people. You and I are going to shave our head and our beard. What?
Yeah. I said I would do it. 750 people.
You threw that out really quick last time. I'm just going to throw this out. You threw that out there. So, we got to do it.
I mean, the challenge out there. Like, see people can
see what happens. Kansas City is going to be fun. All right. Also coming to us from, not from Chicago. She was in Chicago a while back, but from Cleveland, the executive director of the TMSA, our good friend Jennifer Carpus-Romaine in the house today.
It's go time. Tick, boom.
What's up, my friend? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Always good to see you. Always good to see you.
Same
You got an
to you.
event coming up right here on Word on the Street coming up soon.
I do. We're doing the female edition of Ladies Word on the Street Friday, December 8th. I apologize if you heard weird noises behind me. I'm getting my bathroom remodeled. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can, that's what it is. He actually,
glad to know.
I closed the door, but earlier he was like, do people keep asking who the weird man is behind you? I'm like, I tell people before they see you.
I have a response for that, but I'm going to hold off. No.
Put it in the private chat.
Yeah.
In the private chat. Nobody else gets to see that. But good to have you with us, my friend. Can't wait for that show. That's like our highest attended show every quarter. So can't wait for that again. Got some amazing women that are going to be on, a few that I know about and a few that are yet to be determined. So that's coming up pretty soon. All right. Coming to us from the New Jersey area. You know him as the Bodacious Cowboy. Give it up for Jeff Dickinson in the house.
Let's go. Let's go.
Pretty, my friend. The handlebars are looking pretty.
Thank you. I actually shaved and trimmed them just for this show.
Oh,
no, just kidding.
Nice. Yeah. Did you guys notice that I'm growing out my beard a little bit? I got a little. It's not like Robert. It's not like that. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, you got a few more weeks to go to catch us.
I got to grow it out. Yeah, I know. I got to grow it out for a concert that I'm in, a barbershop concert. Anyways, that's not important.
Yeah, coming into puberty. That's great. That's good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, speaking of coming into puberty, coming to us from Denver, Colorado, our good friend, the VP of Operations from Beta Consulting Group, Coleman Ruffin in the house.
Are you working? What kind of work do you do? I knew as soon as there was a beard talk, I was up next.
It's okay. I'm with you.
A little stubble. I see a little stubble.
No, I'm telling you, it's getting better. It's not good, but it's getting better. It's getting. Well, I shaved.
Okay.
I shaved. Okay.
Listen.
I'm like up to like once every week, maybe twice if I'm feeling risky.
Oh, all right, that's good.
We have the Beta holiday party coming here in about 3 weeks. I will let you know for sure what's happening. Oh, and we have honorary Beta member Jennifer Carpenter remain crashing the party.
Yeah. Well, if I don't shave for 3 weeks, I won't be allowed within 30 feet of a school, so I can't do that. Like that's just going to be bad.
Are we going to a school?
Yeah,
we might be walking by one. Who knows?
I didn't sign up to go hang out with children.
Out of control. Speaking out of control, coming to us from the Boston area, our good friend McNuts, Kyle McNutt in the house today.
Hey, we got the beef back. Extra all-American. All-American beef, baby.
That's right, the beef is back. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
Can't complain. It's 60 degrees here in Boston, so I'm actually having a good day. How about y'all?
Oh, you got the weather we had a couple days ago. Yeah, that's good. It's cooling down here a little bit in the Midwest, but yeah, it's nice. Nice little heat wave right now. Hey, speaking of beef being back, Robert, what are you up to now on your lists? You got some events coming up. Tell everybody out there who may not know what you're up to these days.
So I got a meet coming up on December 2nd. I'll be down in Tampa, Florida. We're pretty much ready to go. My last heavy squat is Sunday, but openers are set, targets are set. We're opening at 970, 600, and 633, and then goal is an 1113 squat. That is
okay.
Lightweight.
Listen, okay, we've got 5 months until the Broker Carrier Summit. We need the apparatus for you to lift people on stage. Listen, we got to make this happen.
I mean,
I like that.
We can do all this.
You get all the beardless men of logistics, put them on like a bench, and then you lift up Coleman and just like emasculate every man who can't grow a beard in logistics.
Bench press is stupid. We're not doing that. Bench is dumb. Bring them on.
We got to figure out a way we got to make this happen. There's a gym in Kansas City. We can shoot a video or do something. We got to make this happen, man. Got to make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, we actually.
There. I know who they are, so we'll make it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. We actually have some special guests on the show today, so we clean up just a little bit here and let them into the arena here with us. Coming to us from Cross Logistics, right here in St. Louis. In fact, Liz could have been in studio today. We should have made that happen. I can't believe it. Everybody, welcome Liz Hawblitzel to the show. Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Great walk-up song.
Yeah, white people rapping. I'm into it.
You say it so politely.
White people rapping.
He's on the wrong show.
So Liz, you definitely then need to come to Manifest because we don't know who's going to be there. It could be Could be Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Maybe Eminem would show up. I don't know. You never know.
Oh my
You never
gosh.
know. It's always somebody good. You never know. So
I tried to buy the Snoop on the Stoop yesterday from Walmart, and it was sold out. Have you ever seen
I
that?
bought-
It's up on a shelf, but it's Snoop on a Stoop.
I bought a combo wine pack that had one bottle of Snoop's wine and one bottle of Martha Stewart's
True
wine.
story.
And it was, I did. I sent it to Trey.
I got a text about this.
I was like, this is the best marketing. I 100% am buying this just because they're packaged together.
Okay, listen, let's just talk about this. If Snoop Dogg comes to Manifest, I mean, come on. Like that's epic.
Amazing.
That's
Does that
epic.
also mean
I mean,
Marcus
Ludic-
here too?
Name
And
3 songs, Trey. Name 3 Snoop songs that you know.
are you kidding me? I can name 3 albums.
Say
Like-
them. I said songs. I didn't say albums.
Okay, anyways, next guest. All right, so moving on.
Gin and Juice, Lottie Dottie, and
There you go. That's right.
No, I know, Liz. I didn't question you. I
nothing
questioned
but a
old
G-thing.
Trey. Yeah, I
yeah.
believe you can answer them.
I can sing them all.
He
We'll say
also
that.
has
Okay.
a really great
Do it
children-
right now.
He has a great kid song for kids that make you feel
Go.
good. It's like get up in the morning. It's great.
All
Words
right,
of
listen, we got one more guest.
affirmation.
We got one more guest we got to bring in, then you can make more fun of me. All right, coming to us from Reliafuel. If you haven't heard about them, you got to check them out. Met this guy at a conference. Awesome what he's doing out there. Everybody give it up for my good friend Anderson Camp from Reliafuel in the house. Ooh, what's the song? What's the song? Where's the song? Well, where's the?
I like that he's
I'm not gonna
dancing.
say, so I'll dance instead.
There we go. There we go. Sorry for the delay on that. Anderson,
good.
what's up, my friend? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I object to being used to dodge the question there, but oh well, I'm glad to hear.
well, you're
Anderson,
on.
are you-
You're up.
Yeah.
Are you Anderson? Are you clean shaven or are you no shave at all? Like, are you? are
I'm
you in
clean
the
shaved today, and I actually spiked up my hair a little bit to match.
We'll have to work on that just a little bit. We'll have to work on
Yeah,
that
give
just
me a
little
couple
bit.
months, years, or
Just a little bit. I know that's good.
Decades.
What happened to Kyle? He bounced on us. What the heck? You have
He
to work
said
today.
he said his internet is bad and he's logging off and jumping back in.
Wow, you
All
better
right.
give him some crap for amateur hour over there with
Yeah,
poor
yeah,
internet
really.
after all this times that
The
he's
guy in
giving
the
you a hard
industry, and
time.
he can't even, Jesus.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic when he gets back. We're gonna have to do that. So, all right. Anyways, so let's go ahead and move on. We'll get started. And by the way, I've got tons of Snoop Dogg songs. I just got caught off guard. Golly, drop it like it's hot. I mean, come on. There's several. There's Doggy Land.
Yeah.
Did you Google it?
Show us your
You
tab
think-
right now.
You think I could
That
run this
sounds
show?
Right here. Right there.
All right. Okay. All right. Moving on. It's time for our segment. What's the word? Sponsored by our friends over at Isometric Technologies. All right, listen, if you're a freight broker out there, they are your secret weapon with ISO, access to industry-wide performance benchmarks, dynamic scorecards, powerful analytics. You can gain insights into your service strengths, address your weaknesses, differentiate your carrier network from the competition. To learn more, go check them out at iso.io, iso.io. By the way, they were in the FreightWaves Tech Top 25, jumping in there at 22. A lot of new entrants into the FreightWaves Top 25 this year. Did you guys see this list? No
Yes.
longer is
Some great
Project 44 at the top. They were at the top like 3 or 4 years running. They weren't even in the top 25 this year.
Were you
Green
using
Screen
that?
was number 5.
You got more Snoop songs?
Number 5 was Green Screens. I know. Green Screens
Yeah,
number
right.
5. Highway number
Very
7.
impressive.
There were some good leaps into the top 25, which is great. So check them out at Isometric Technologies. Good friends over there. All right. I don't know if you guys have been following along. How many of you are on Twitter? X. How many of you are on X? A couple of you? No.
Not
See,
very
Robert,
active.
you,
Still have
Robert-
an account, but I got-
Robert clearly doesn't have the MacBook upgrade, the OS upgrade, because if he'd have done it with the upgrade, it would look like this. There you go. Yep. You don't have it.
Your hand
Yeah.
is too big. It just
Liz,
takes the screen.
Liz, listen, it's amazing. Look at this, Liz. There's all kinds of fun stuff that happens here. I mean, it gets wild. It's just all kinds of crazy stuff. There we go. So if you got a MacBook, upgrade to the latest operating system, you can get that. Kyle, welcome back. What happened, my friend? What happened?
This is an amateur hour. I saw how choppy my video was, so I had to make sure my quality looks good. But I'm so happy I missed you guys doing the rock on thing because that's been great for the past 3 months. So happy you figured this out, Coleman.
So, hey,
Listen,
Kyle,
it's just
just so you
telling
know, we've only gotten one actual Snoop song named to this point. So just throwing that out.
Yeah, because he doesn't know. I'm surprised he didn't name the kids album. I thought that would be the songs he knows.
That is what I named.
Right.
Because that's where I am right now.
Yeah, right there, man. Boom.
I just got a little caught off guard is all. So, just let it go. Let it go.
Still not naming him, Bane. Still saying nothing, Bane.
Know that one. So that's one. We already talked about gin and juice, Doggyland. I mean, there's some. There's a couple.
Somebody's internet's going in and out.
Is that mine?
Yep.
Suck it.
It's still.
Golly.
It sounds fine. It's just a little delayed.
It seems like amateur.
This is a real interesting show today.
I know. We're off to a great start. All right, listen. So let's get back to Twitter or to X. So things are kind of blowing up over there in the freight world of Freight X. If you are not on Twitter, you should definitely check it out because there's some things that are happening that are quite fascinating. So, for example, memes have kind of gone crazy over there. And Craig Fuller put out a challenge that they're going to do a content creator summit next year, and they're giving away up to $100,000 for the best memer on Twitter. Which is that really going to happen? Like $100,000? I mean, I don't know how much are people paying FreightWaves? How much money are they sitting on that they can throw that out there? But it sounds like fun.
I didn't even hear about this. Wait, this is for the best memer. So who's just putting out the best memes out there?
So you have to meme once a day for the next year. I don't know if they're gonna keep track of that. And then they're gonna give some money away.
All right, we're doing it. I'm setting up a meme right now. I'm starting posting it.
That's right. Get going.
Well, I guess your salary is getting cut there, Coleman.
No,
yeah,
my salary might be cut, but my bonus is going up.
Yeah, things are getting a little wild over there. So if you're not on X, if you're not on Twitter, you should definitely check it out. Some good things happening there. Reed Losalot's posting a lot. Obviously, Paul Bernard Jaroslawski. There's a whole Freight X community now. Ben Shergi, who was on one standing out recently. He was on there. In fact, he put a post out there that said the freight community. I think it was like this. The freight community. Discovering Twitter in 2023 is the most freight thing ever. It's one of the posts he put out there. And it has to be because we're always 10 years behind everybody else. So now that we're starting to actually have a little traction on Twitter, that's kind of where it's going. Grace posted this. Grace Sharkey, our friend. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see the potential throwdown in Congress recently?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's when it'd get fun. I'll play it for you real quick. So there's a congressman who was talking here. We'll go a little bit further here and get ahead. Here we go.
Sick.
I can do bad lip reading if you want.
No.
So
No, that's all right.
I'm a guy. My tie's too tight. What about you? You sit there. You look at me. Look at me. What do you think? Are we going
Watch this right here. Watch this.
Or no? Oh, we should kiss. I'm going to kiss.
I agree.
Okay, let's kiss.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. I'm here to kiss. The girl behind, she's like, hell yeah, this is what I want. So I'm setting her. I'm pulling in action.
Where's my camera?
The lady next to her is like, too small. Little kiss. Hurry up. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Liz.
It's getting out of control there on Twitter. Yeah.
I like the Twitter version better.
Yeah,
I just want to remind everybody that's watching this, we are all freight professionals. We actually do have legitimate careers, and we solve.
I am not affiliated.
And I'm pretty sure we just found our new game idea.
No, not another game.
It's gonna just lead to kissing with me. It's gonna be a smooth.
Yeah, no.
Reading for people's presentations at conferences.
We're gonna play a video and have
reading.
Kyle do the voiceover. That's what we're gonna do. Nice.
I charge for that. That costs money. That's where my profession comes in. It costs a lot to have me bad lip read.
Liz and Anderson are like, why did we join this show? Why are we here? What?
Why are we here?
All right, listen. Let's pause for a minute. We're gonna give the floor to Anderson and to Liz just for a moment. So Anderson, tell us a little bit about ReliaFuel, and let's jump into that conversation. Tell us what's going on over there.
Cool. So we're the new kid on the block, and all we're trying to do is help brokers and 3PLs get control of fuel surcharges on behalf of their shippers. So you guys do everything for your shippers, and we're trying to add an extra tool in your tool belt, which is the ability to cap the fuel surcharge. So if you're able to cap the line haul rate, you're probably still leaving the fuel surcharge to float. It's kind of the ugly stepchild of the freight market sometimes. So we're trying to help you pay a little bit more attention to it, bring value to your customers instead of just passing through the freight costs, and add an extra tool in your service tool belt and help you make a little bit extra money in the process. So we were hearing a lot from brokers and 3PLs that they don't know how to budget for fuel. They don't know how to factor it into their gross revenue projections and everything else. So at the end of the year, we're doing free fuel consultations. We'll take a look at your books and your budgets for next year if you want some extra help from somebody who thinks about the fuel surcharge 24/7. So just bringing a little extra attention to it.
So this is interesting, and I'm curious to know, the brokers on the call, how many of you talk about this with your shippers?
Used to all the time, for sure.
Yeah. A little bit. Yes, that was interesting, because when Anderson and I were talking about this, he was saying that not a lot of brokers focus on this or even really talk about it with their shippers, understand it. So it's kind of one of those kind of hidden areas of the industry to work with, which is pretty interesting. So Anderson, what led you to start this?
Yeah, so it's basically an accessibility problem, right? The huge companies who are using a ton of fuel, shipping hundreds of thousands of loads, are hedging their fuel. But for most customers, right, they don't have access to it, whether it's a sophistication issue, an accessibility problem, a complexity problem. So the whole goal is to make it as easy as possible for every size company to reap the benefits that come with protecting themselves from commodity risk. So that's the goal. Just democratize that access and make it easy without complicating the way brokers are doing business already. So just an extra tool in their toolkit.
Love it. Yeah, got to get the word out on that one, because again, it's just something that a lot of people don't know about. I don't know anybody else that's really talking about that. Maybe you guys have heard some other people talking about that, but not a lot of people are trying to tackle that problem. So that's good, man. Glad you came on the show. Glad you're here. Hopefully you stick around for the whole thing. We'll see how it works out. We'll see how it all goes. All right, and Liz, you and I have known each other for a while. Got to see you at a conference recently. You're at Cross Logistics. What's good? You're in St. Louis. You should be you should be in studio. We should figure this out.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't think about that in advance.
I didn't either. I know.
Yeah, I'm an agent for Cross Logistics, so I technically own Liz Logistics, and I've been selling for Cross for about a year and a half. Brad Cross is the owner, one of the owners, and he was basically my mentor for many years before I joined up with his company, and it's an all commission deal. So, every cost is important, like Anderson was saying, and we actually have our own fuel schedule because we do a lot of LTO. So most of our rates are customer specific by the customer. And when I look at current fuel versus what we're paying, it's about half. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
Brad's you got to find the savings so that, at the end of the day, let's be honest, I'm putting a markup on the freight.
Yeah. And Brad's a great guy. I got to meet him. So he wasn't in the office when I walked in the office. So I met everybody and I went back to the dentist. And then lo and behold, Jill and Brad come, storming into the dentist office. we had a little conversation in front there. So he was a great guy.
I think the dentist is their neighbor too.
Yes. Yeah. Dentist is great. Shout out to Chesterfield Dental Associates in case they're watching the show. There's no chance. All right.
I was like, are they?
Well, maybe
really dedicated dentist.
Cross Logistics is on this show. You never know. Maybe they got the word and they're doing that. But anyways, all right. A couple of other things that are happening. If you guys have saw this with the container rates that are happening right now, they're staying unsustainably low levels. It's getting pretty low. Maersk laid off a bunch of people recently. Oh, yeah. Where are we at on this? Are we at the bottom of this thing? Are we moving up? Where are we at on this? I want to hear from the freight brokers who are out in the marketplace.
So I think it's interesting that they're mentioning that, the rates are unsustainably low and volumes are not just creeping up, they're going up significantly. And I was just reported that year-over-year volume are up 15+% on just containers. And so at some point there is a tipping point with that. You certainly have additional capacity in the marketplace that we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But that there is a culling coming with the industry. We're already seeing that. We saw it with Convoy. We saw it with other brokers and carriers that are either merging or going under. And so as that continues to happen, that capacity is going to leave the marketplace. And so they talk about 24 to 36 months. I'll be honest, that's crazy. It's not going to be that long because you're going to have this influx of freight. People are buying more because we do have some type of lull when it comes to inflation. And now as capacity moves out of the marketplace, rates just simply have to go up. So I don't believe it's going to be this 24 to 36 month drop like they're talking about. You're looking at max 12 months, and realistically, depending on who starts to lead come March, you'll see really how this is going to play out. But it's going to be a max of 12 months.
Yeah, and think about the news headlines just a year ago. Maersk was making record profits. They had all this cash. I mean, they were, just hand over fist. Trucking companies the same way, brokers the same way, and now we're seeing brokers that can't keep up. They don't have access to funds. Coleman and I were just talking to a broker this morning who has grown responsibly, but he's spot market dependent, and he's actually doing great because he actually saved money. What a concept! He actually filled the war chest, and so he's able to make it through in this time. And it's amazing to see the brokers who are not able to, to make it through this, not having access to capital. I mean, that to me, that's the big surprise. But Maersk as well. It's like, what did they do with all this money? What did they do with it? How many private jets did Maersk buy?
Oh, we want another private jet. We'll just lay off a couple thousand people. It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you wonder. They made so much money. I mean, I'm sure they bought some new container ships. I get it. They reinvested part of it, but to lay off 10,000 people.
They bought new ships, and they paid out a significant dividend over the last 2 years. And like that's something that really isn't talked about a whole lot because, again, investors don't want people necessarily to be super in tune with that because ultimately when you're laying off 10,000 people, but the investors are still getting, a significant dividend check, that doesn't really play too well.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the issues from like an outside perspective of when you get into a company that large, right? You're there to please the investors, the higher ups, and it's not necessarily always about the people that are helping keep the lights on, for lack of a better way to put it. So from an outside perspective, it's like,
true.
Come on now, just cut the investors' dividends a little bit and make sure that you're keeping the people on board. But it's always that scale there.
You just throw a pizza party, the employees will be happy. That's all I do.
Bring beer.
Bingo bongo, beer and pizza.
Record years. We're going to do stuffed crust pizza this time, guys.
You gotta get garlic bread with the
That's got to be at
garlic
least a few percent.
I thought the whole Beta Consulting holiday party was going to be a secret. You can't tell them what they're going to order for their catering.
I have no idea, actually. So I can't verify. I can't confirm any of this. I have no idea what's going to happen. So
it's like you can't name two Snoop songs. So
shut up, dude. Moving on. Shut up. Moving on. All right. So let me ask you about this. I want to follow about this. So, there's companies out there that are not in the headlines. They're not raising a bunch of capital. They're not scaling like crazy fast. They're just steadily growing. And these are the ones that seem to be doing the best right now. Are we going to see more companies take that path, or are we going to see people eventually get addicted to money and blitz scaling the companies again and getting back in the cycle again? Because to me, I think it's the pursuit of scaling that has put people in these situations where they're leveraging so heavily that this situation occurs and they can't, they're done. Like they just can't keep up with it. What do you guys think?
I agree.
We won't see it because it's not sexy, right? Like if you think about it from a growth perspective, everybody's like, oh my gosh, this company 400x'd in a year or something along those lines. They aren't necessarily trying to report or highlight the people that are doing it at a slow and steady pace. I mean, that's just how it makes for a better story. So hopefully there's more of them, but will we see them? I'm willing to bet not.
Does it make for a better story, or does it just make for more clicks and that's why people like it? Because I think the better story is actually hearing somebody be successful, especially a bootstrapper, somebody who makes money. I mean, Tim Hyam over at Ascend TMS, he talks about this all the time. Like, they're not raising money, but they've been profitable for a long time. Whether you like his business or not, or you like his product or not, like he never gets any play. Because he's not, raising these massive amounts of capital.
Yeah, it's boring. This is America. We want to hear about massive money. We want to hear about jet skiing, high rolling. If it's not what Ric Flair would do, we don't care about it.
And crashing.
About that.
And crashing. Big crashes.
Hey, right. You got to crash to climb back up that mountain, baby.
We do love this is I don't think it's an American thing. I think it's just a human thing. We like big risk, big reward. We do like to see that. And all we've gotten into from a much more macro scale, like Coleman mentioned, is it's all about the scaling and the growth. And everyone talks about growth. When you look at like the stock market, you look at what these guys talk about, like this growth stock, this X, and they grew this much. No one wants to talk about the guys that, listen, man, they've been running $1 billion revenues for the last 10 years. They make $100 million a year. And every single year they're putting $100 million in the bank. No one talks about that because it's not sexy. But I'll tell you what, you do that for 10 years, I got $1 billion in the war chest. That's a whole different level of wealth and money and success and stability that in economies like we've been in over the last 24 months that you do need. So you won't hear as much about those companies right now, but those companies that are just very steady, they're making the right decisions, they're making long-term decisions. If you aren't playing on a 5-year plan, you're just looking at everything for the next 30 days, you're going to go under. Full stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What people are failing to do is look at the future, and they're planning for today and tomorrow. This is the perfect time in a soft market to start building those relationships, not just with your clients and prospects, but your carriers as well, because you want to set yourself up for profitability and sustainability in 2024. And those who fail to do it now and want to fill that pipeline and do whatever they possibly can, if they have to pray and spray, they'll do it just to fill the pipeline. But what kind of relationships are they building by doing that? It's the wrong approach. Think now, plan for later, but just set up for 2024. This year's gone. There's no need for that hustle culture to go out there and prove what you can't prove, because you're going to fail. Like Robert said, man, you're going to fail. It's not sustainable.
It's weird. Somebody said this on LinkedIn earlier this week. If you build the network when you don't need it, then you can utilize it when you do.
Very much.
Probably the best advice I could ever give to somebody that wants to start their own business. Now, Liz, how long have you owned your own agency?
Since 2014.
Yeah, and I really think you have one of the best names in logistics with Liz Gistics. That's clever. That's well
I do like
done,
that,
my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done. But you said something interesting. You said that being an agent, it's a 100% commission deal. I mean, business ownership is 100% commission. Like you either kill things or you don't eat. That's just kind of the way that it works. And I don't know about you, but we've been talking to a lot of prospects lately, and you can tell which ones have planned accordingly. You can tell which ones are solid financially and stable, and you can tell which ones are shooting from the hip. The ones who are solid financially, they have a plan, they're ready to move forward, they pay well, they're on time. The people that are flying by the seat of their pants are like, should I do this? Should I not do this? I don't know. And like they're kind of sketchy when it comes to that. What's it been like out there? With Cross Logistics, with logistics in terms of acquiring new customers. What are you seeing out there?
Well, I don't think getting new customers is easy, but I'm also not looking for onesie twosie type customer. I want someone who wants to give me, like, quite frankly, all of their LTL. So that's not something that you can get on the first sales call.
Nope.
And but my goal is to develop such good relationships with customers, carriers, any partners that we're using, that if someone does knock on their door or call them, which, as we all know, that happens constantly, my customers are going to say, you know what, we're really happy. Thanks for stopping by. Or they can even use what I tell them to say, which is, all of our freight is customer routed.
So that's where they're getting that phrases from you. That's the common one. But I think you're right about that, in the sense of, having these really strong relationships and making that a priority and not saying yes to just everything that's out there. That's probably the biggest lesson I learned in business is not every customer is a good customer. Not every customer is the kind of customer you want to take on,
But the thing here too is exploiting the customers you already have. A lot of people don't look past their fingertips. They have a great customer, yet they don't ask them for referrals or recommendations to either go upstream or downstream, because you're already handling their vendors, suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, products already. That's either coming inbound or outbound. So why not exploit that and say, hey, do you mind if I reached out to your vendor, supplier, manufacturer, whomever, and ask them if I could move their freight? More volume, bigger discounts. That's how I do my business. I am not a transactional business whatsoever. I look for dedicated, consistent, weekly basis where I can build my relationships with my carriers. I have less risk, more control, and it's constant. And that's how I'm getting over that barrier and that that obstacle that everybody's going through right now, because they're just not looking past their fingertips. It's right there if they just look.
And when you do that too, you give access to those carriers to that entire supply chain or more of that supply chain. And that level of visibility and partnership with both the carriers and the shipping partners that shows more value that you're bringing, and actually further cements the relationships and the business in that ecosystem that you're building. And so when someone comes in, like Liz talked about, and says, "Oh, hey, we can offer better rates," great, but you can't offer the same value. So get the F out.
That's right. It's solidifying the relationships that have already been built for the long term, not the short term. And that's what a lot of people are doing right now is they're looking for today, like I mentioned earlier, and not looking towards the future. How can you build that for sustainability where you're going to keep your carriers fed around every month annually and still give that value, that high value proposition to the customers you're already doing business with? That's the key right here.
Yeah, love that. And Josh, thanks for watching the show. Just he had a comment or a question here real quick. Common issues that we're seeing that transport and logistics companies are facing that could be solved with better technology. This is interesting to me because we saw a lot of new technology come into the space in the last year. We saw a lot of it at the conferences. I just did an episode of The Edge with Don Everhart and Brian Roy and Robin Hyra and Wasim Manair, where we talked about the technology in the industry. There seems to be a lot of technology that's coming out right now. What's actually moving the needle? What's getting the job done? I think the biggest issues we saw were a lot of finance technology that's helping out with billing and invoicing, but also the fraud issue. We now have 4 or 5 players that are tackling the fraud issue in some form or fashion. You've got Highway, who's doing some great work. Freight Validate just came out. Cassandra with Carrier Sure, they're doing some work over there on scorecarding and carrier stuff like that. What are some other issues and technology that's actually solving those issues right now that you guys are seeing?
So unpopular opinion, technology doesn't solve shit. And here's what I mean by that, because I understand we've got a tech player here. Adoption is what solves it. You can have all the dope technology in the world, the best suite, the best TMS, all the visibility, all this data. If it's not adopted and used, it's worthless. It's absolutely worthless. So
always true.
Technology doesn't mean shit. It's adoption of technology that ultimately is what it is the most common and the biggest issue, because we as an industry have been so analog for so long. And what do? You talked about just now, Jeff. People that are looking at everything the here and now, just throw bodies at it and we'll figure it out later.
Yep.
Don't take
okay.
the technology.
So here's the 4 main issues that I think brokers are facing right now, or the industry is facing right now, and that is, one is automation, like just the menial tasks and trying to get those off your plate and become more efficient. One is driver communication, creating a better experience for the driver. We're seeing things like text locate and vendor flow doing some great work around that. You got the fraud issue, which we just talked about already. And then you have the, what's the 4th one? What's the first one I said? I can't remember what I said.
Automation. Automation.
Automation was the first one that time around. I meant the last time around. Anyways, those are the main issues that people are facing. And there is some technology that I think is moving the needle in regards to that. I'm really high on like what VendorFlow is doing. I had Eric on the show recently, and he was talking about what they're doing for the driver experience. I don't know if you guys have looked into that. It's similar to text locate. They're both kind of doing some similar type things of just making it easier for drivers to get the right information and to send back documents and all that kind of stuff in a workflow that makes sense for them. But those are helping out quite a bit. Automation is one that we're starting to see a lot of entrants on that as well. We're seeing, Chad Olson over at AVRL is doing some awesome stuff. AVRL to me is one of the big kind of like best kept secrets in the industry. I mean, they are blown out of the water for enterprise customers on stuff that nobody else is doing. Then you've got Tabby Connect doing some work on automation. You've got what's the one? There's a couple of others that are starting to do that now. Bitfreighter's getting into the automation game, so they're doing some great work as well. And so there's several players that are starting to play in that game, but I'm really curious to see kind of which ones win out, like which ones really move the needle. Are you guys using any of these yet? Have you looked into them? What are your thoughts on these?
And I agree with you 100% on AVRL. They are, if you look at the actual history and DNA of how Chad kind of came in the industry, they are a product that is truly unique in the space. I don't say that very lightly, because again, there's a lot of people trying to.
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah. So certainly, there's a lot of really great folks that are trying to move the needle, but ultimately it comes down to, if you're not going to use it, it doesn't matter. But I think ISO is a good, one of the show sponsors is a great example too, where you have a lot of data that is suddenly available to people, and put it in a visualization and in a decision making tree that allows you to actually utilize it. And so there again, when you have the data and you have the right stuff, you can start moving the needle and making the right decisions. And the best part about that is, you look at like Liz as an example. I don't know how large your staff is, or if it's just you. You can maximize somebody's ability with a lot of these different tools for very minimal investment.
Yeah.
Very true.
If they're implemented, if they're adopted, absolutely. All right, Josh, you got to follow up. We're going to go for it. Is data management, data visualization an issue you see at all, helping carriers understand how well their fleet is performing? I mean, I think just to jump in on that, I mean, data is only as good as how the integrity of it, how clean it is, first of all. And then I think a lot of carriers, I'm still amazed at how many carriers aren't utilizing much technology to manage their fleets. It's amazing to me. Just they don't have the TMS, they don't have some of the systems in there. So without that, it's really hard to see what's happening and see what's going on. I was on a panel at Women in Trucking about AI, specifically with maintenance, and there's some phenomenal tools that are diagnosing what's happening with a truck before it breaks down. It's the proactive approach, almost like proactive healthcare as opposed to reactive healthcare. It's the same kind of thing. But the technology, if the data is good, there's some really great insights that can be used on that. But again, if the data is not good, it doesn't matter anyway.
Big if the data is good.
One of the biggest problems out there, and you probably heard this term, data rich, information poor. And I think it comes down to training and the ability to read the data for what it is and being able to present that in a very positive way. And it's like when I present in front of my customers, I'm using their data and then I'm comparing it to outside data within that vertical to see how they stack up against their competitors. And a lot of people, they just don't understand how to read that data and how significant the information is if you understand it.
Yeah,
my customers. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I used to work in like this kind of area of tech, and I, like Robert was saying earlier, it's about like people actually using the system. And I think one of the biggest errors that I would see at the time is just like people set up initial training for the whoever's using the system, but they don't invest in the ongoing continued training support. And if you are moving, especially from a legacy system into something new, they're not going to remember just based off 1 hour of training, and they're going to want to go back to what they're doing. So that was the biggest piece. And then people are like, oh, we made this huge investment in this technology and the technology is bad. The technology isn't bad. It's that you didn't then invest in the time to train your employees to use the system effectively.
Amen.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens a whole lot. I think, lack of implementation, lack of training is a huge problem. Liz, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, as far as, reading information about freight, one of my customers contacted me and said, hey, I see that freight rates are going down, and why aren't my freight rates going down? So he linked the article that he was talking about, and I was like, well, this is all truckload and your business is 96% LTL. So LTL rates are up 4.9 to 6.9% as far as the general rate increase. So yeah, your rates are not going down.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad he asked, because otherwise then he thinks I'm just a chump, So I'm glad I have that relationship where he felt comfortable enough to say, hey, what's up with this? Like, why aren't my rates going down?
I love that approach, Liz, because one of the biggest benefactors for building long-term business relationships is telling the customer when they're wrong. A lot of people are afraid of doing that because that old term, the customer is always right, and it's a farce. They're not always right. And you have to call them out when they are wrong, because that's what it's all about: integrity, honesty, and transparency.
Well, I was just going to add to that. Like, we talk in marketing and sales, we talk about like how you educate, how you're transparent. So Liz, I love that, because it wasn't even that you were saying that the customer was wrong. You were saying, hey, let me be transparent and explain the difference between the type of support that I give you versus what else you're reading in the industry, because people may just not know the difference. And so giving that education is a big part of it. And then they're going to remember that, oh, Liz took the time to sit down with me and explain what LTL is, because clearly I may have not really understood what I was doing. my own business, which happens.
Well, what's interesting too is when they take an increase of, let's say, 5.9%, if you know anything about how LTL rates work, the 5.9% isn't like your rates are 5.9% higher. They're taking an increase on the base rates. So how that actually affects your rates depends on your discount. So it almost means like, hey, we're doing something very convoluted that is going to affect you, and it's extremely hard to explain how.
Yeah, and don't try to connect the dots. It's not really going to.
I mean, they're taking increases all the time, and I said LTL rates have been going up since I can remember.
We know it's interesting because this is actually a huge part of marketing that people forget about, is the education piece of things. Because I agree with you, the customer is not always right. The customer is always important, but they're not always right. They may not know a certain area as well. I'm a business owner. You guys know I don't know a lot of stuff. Like there's a ton of stuff that you'd have to educate me on if you can't expect.
We all don't know everything.
I don't know if you should publicly say I don't know a lot of things and have the entire crowd just be like, yeah.
That's why you brought me in. Don't worry, we're fine.
That's right. Listen, hey, I just have massive levels of self-awareness. That's all it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's any industry that you're in, right? Like your customers are your customers because you are the expert in that specific field, right? Like that's why you should be able to have those conversations and say, no, this is why this is happening, or this is the direction that we should go because of X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, what value are you really adding at that point?
Right.
Yeah, ultimately, the customer is going to make the final decision. All you're doing is handing it to them and saying, this is yours. I'm taking the emotion out of the decision making right here. This is your information. Here's how I presented it. Here's your competitors. What do you want to do?
Yeah. You have a financial advisor. Yeah, or you have a financial advisor. They say, "Hey, invest in this." You're like, "Okay," as opposed to me just blindly just throwing it in the stock market, right? It's the exact same type of concept.
No, you got to do this. No.
Coleman, that's actually a good point. When you're in the sales chair and you're giving somebody an RFP, rundown, and you're giving them a set of rates, you're telling them like, "Hey, you're going to invest in this network that I have developed for you, whether it's over years or you're a new customer." You're basically explaining to them why they should invest in that. It's not because it's better or worse, but because there is value there that they're going to be able to show right away to their organization. Because ultimately, if you look at supply chain, for the most part, it is a line item expense on almost every PM. Yep. But if you can show where either it's net zero, it's flat, or that you can show some way to actually create a revenue center, now all of a sudden you're showing a very different value stream. And so when you're doing that, ultimately you're telling us like you have to invest to turn it into that. And then to Jeff's point, and then it's their decision. Like, hey, you do what you want with it, but again, this is what the path we're going to go down.
That's right.
Yeah. But I think that education component is a huge part of the marketing aspect of things. And Camp Anderson, I'm going to throw it to you on this. I bet education is a big part of what you're having to do right now. I can only imagine it's a big part of.
For sure. And part of it's like sometimes I hear like, why wouldn't we just essentially hedge ourselves? And my question is, you're a freight broker and you're asking me that question. I'm sure you hear from shippers all the time. Why wouldn't I just move my freight myself? It's one, you're not already, and two, we're bringing expertise that you don't have. But the education is huge. Just the amount of literature that's out there that says fuel hedging is a good idea if you can do it consistently, do it well, and do it in a cost-effective way. It's massive, right? The data is there. It's just a matter of making people familiar with it, and trust is a big part too, right? I mean, there's been a kind of a rocky history with some fuel products in the market in the past. So we're big on transparency and education on what we're doing and how we're doing it, and why it would work for you in the long run. So
with the fuel schedule, if you use your own, let's put it this way. So if the carrier is using their own fuel schedule, they have that certain base. But as soon as you go to your fuel surcharge, they're going to increase their base in order to match what they're doing it. So the only real benefit from that is on freight payment services, where every carrier has the same fuel surcharge, so it's easy to pass it through and audit and get it through there. But when you're dealing with carriers, though, they're going to change that base in order to make it profitable for them to meet it, whether they're using their fuel surcharge or yours.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. How the relationship between line haul, fuel surcharge, and then the way the fuel surcharge is calculated. Everyone's thinking an all-in rates, right? Like everybody's thinking, what do I need to move this load profitably? And they're just essentially fudging the numbers to get to that point, no matter how you do it.
Right.
The good news is hedging still beneficial because at some point someone is still paying for fuel. That cost gets baked in. Sometimes people say, well, I don't have a fuel surcharge, it's an all-in rate. You're still paying for fuel. Right? Of course that's a cost for somebody.
Really? Okay. Show me that.
Peel back the onion a little bit.
Yeah. I guess
I want to see that.
Yeah, so it's just
I didn't pay for this t-shirt at the conference I went to. No, it's in there.
Yeah, it's education about sometimes even where fuel is coming into the rate in general. And then helping them get control of that. Yeah, so good point. I think there's probably, if you look across your range of customers, you can probably find 10 or 15 different fuel surcharge schedules where the base is different, the escalator is different, whatever the case might be. Yeah, it's crazy. There's been some attempts to standardize it in general, but really, since the carriers need to make money at the end, any attempt you make to standardize it just kind of rolls over into line haul so the carriers can move things properly. So it's right. It's just a relationship.
Yep. And so you're gonna have to come up with some entertaining ways to educate the market on this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's your big challenge is to figure that out.
Yes,
and make some inroads in regards to that. All right, listen, we're getting towards the end here. We're gonna do a couple of things. We got a fun game today. We're gonna play. This is a new one that we got to come up with. Jeff, this is just for you, my friend. This one is called.
Yeah, you built it for me. Yeah.
This one is called "Who Said That." All right, here's how it's going to work. We're going to get some background music going here in just a minute. But the way it's going to work is this: we're going to put a banner up onto the screen here with lyrics to some of the most famous songs. We got to guess the artist and the song the quote is from. It's 1 point each. And
if
the first
you guys
person
didn't add a Snoop,
I was going to say Snoop.
You guys
no
better be
idea.
quick on your feet.
Wait a second. Let me go to the web.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going to be on here. So, there's a good chance I'm not going to win this. All right, here we go. Everybody got the rules. First person to start talking gets to keep answering. Here we go. Keeping track. First one is this. Taylor Swift. Okay, Andrew got it.
Taylor Swift. How the hell am I going to know that?
I can only think of that verse now.
How about we do? Let's do a point for the artist and a point for the song title. All right. So, Anderson, we're going to give you one on that. That's me from Taylor Swift. Nice job. Okay. So Anderson on the board.
That should have been helpful.
Anderson on the board with 1. All right.
I will not get 1 point.
Hey, you never know what songs are going to be up here. She could have.
Yeah, you might be surprised.
Might be some cowboy songs on here. You never know. All right. Round two.
Bohemian Rhapsody. By Queen.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm with that.
That is my karaoke jam.
Nice.
All right.
That's good. I like that.
Man, I'm freezing today when it comes to this.
She went to Evelyn's speed reading class. And what's that?
Well done. Okay, here we go.
Oh. Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley.
Wow.
Really? Wow. Is that right? Let's see.
Look at
that. Liz on the board. Liz with 2. Nice work. I'm trying to think of that lyric in the song. I couldn't think of that.
The whole rhythm.
Are you from Memphis?
Gang, that's right.
There we go, Liz. Nice. All right, round 4.
Ha ha ha. Bye. I don't know the name.
From the band Aha?
If any of us get this,
It's called Ha 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 is the name of the song, I think.
I feel like we need a clue.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What's the band Aha?
This is just the beta team laughing at us. This is
It is. That's exactly what that is. Okay, let's see who it is. Let's see.
waving the white flag on that.
Do we get it? Yeah, we're waving the white flag. Do we have an answer on this one? Oh, okay. There's
the clue. Bee Gees.
Oh, nice.
Kyle's not here, which means
Man.
Oh,
thank you. I got it.
Is it H-A or A-H? Is it ha ha?
It doesn't matter. I got it.
Yeah, that's right. Jake got it. Who cares? All right. Okay. All right. Round 5.
Hello.
Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Let's go.
Oh, good job.
Oh man.
Come on.
I'm choking on this one. Jeez.
All right. Okay. This is round 6. We got 2 more rounds to go. This is round 6.
Thank God.
This is Dolly Parton 95. Let's go. Yes.
Nice.
We sang that
That's
this
a good
summer
one.
at that was a barbecue.
I love
we sang this
Dolly.
summer, so that's why I know that. That's the only reason why I know that. Okay, listen. Last round. Don't put it up yet. Last round is worth 5 points for the artist and 5 points for the song. We're gonna increase it. Everyone's got a shot to win because Jen's got 4.
Natalia,
I've got 4. Liz has 2. Anderson has 1. All right, here we go. Coleman, what is wrong with you, Coleman?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
She's just
Billie Jean, Michael Jackson.
Liz
Good
was
job.
a winner. Nice work, Liz. Well
It
done.
was like
well done.
it was building in my head as it went, and then as soon as you screamed it, I was like, yes.
That's it.
Liz, in honor of Liz winning the first edition of Who Said That, we got to hit the gong for. There you go. Well done. Nice work on that. So congratulations, Liz. You win the first episode of Who Said That. By the way, Anderson and Liz, thanks for being on the show today. Do you want a coffee mug? Do you want a water bottle? We're going to send you one. What do you want? Coffee mug or water bottle?
Coffee mug, please.
I'll take a water bottle.
Hey. There you go. Coffee mug and water bottle on the way. We appreciate you being on the show. We end the show the same way every time, which is we have something called This Week in Pictures. Let's see if we have that up, if we can throw that up. Basically, we're just getting pictures from everybody and having them throw them up on the screen. Do we have This Week in Pictures this week? I think we do. Here we go. This edition of This Week in Pictures. We'll play a little Metallica background music for you. All right. So one of our customers, A&W Weber Logistics, Zach Weber is the guy that we talked to. He's right there in the middle with his wife, Allison, and they had their first baby, Sloan Mauve. Very cool name, and just born last week, so just a couple of days old still. Very excited about that. Or maybe it was this week. It was recent. It was really nice. Recently. So congratulations to Zach and his family on that. Very cool in terms of that. All right, next. Scott can't be on the show with us today, but he sent us some pictures. He actually got to see Mitch. Look at that, the bald guys from Chicago over there on the right. I'm so sad that I missed out on that. That would have been a good time. But Scott, we missed you. I look forward to seeing you back here next week, my friend. Yep. So Anderson, as you can see, everybody on the show, pretty much half of them don't have hair. All right.
Yeah, good company.
I know. It's kind of the way it works. Coleman, what do we got here?
So this is the infamous Casa Bonita. If any of you have not heard of this, I highly recommend watching season 7, episode 11 of South Park. But this is an infamous Mexican food restaurant over here local to Denver. And it is an experience for sure. So on the left, they actually have a big cliff diving pool in the middle.
They got it.
The seating is all the way around. And they've got, mazes in there. They've got puppet shows, magic shows, and a little bit of everything. So next time you come, definitely worth checking out. The food, I'm not trying to put them on blast, isn't the greatest, but you go for the experience. It's
the ambiance.
It's the experience. Exactly. I've been there as well. We were there in 2018. Took a little birthday trip for Hannah. Got to go do that, but it was cool. Like seeing them. Yeah. You don't care so much that the guac isn't as fresh when people are diving, into pools next to you. So it's the experience. It's all that, which is nice. So, anyways, next over here, Kyle is not here, but apparently he did something with American Airlines. What is this?
He said, "You guys got to read the chat." He said,
come on. I don't have time to read the chat.
His brother just became an American airline pilot. Congrats, Jared.
Oh, very cool. Jared. That's awesome. Very cool. I did not know that. I guess I can see a little bit of Kyle McNaught on the guy on the left. So I can see a little bit of him in that. So all right, very good.
There you go.
Congratulations on that. Does that mean Kyle can fly for free now on standby?
Yeah, right. His brother's like, you're paying double to fly with me.
He's selling the passes double.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So good. A couple things that happened in my world recently. We'll kind of go around the left. Top left corner, went hunting this weekend. Didn't see one deer. What the heck? Oh, I'm deciding I shouldn't hunt anymore because I'm not seeing a thing out there. I see 10 of them on the way home, and I hit about 3 or 4 of them. On the right-hand side, my daughter's Spanish class went to Vallarta's and ordered in Spanish and had a fun day for that, so we got to go do that. My sister, Lori, 5 years older, on the left-hand side there. And you guys can't see this very well, but in the middle picture with my family, the girls are standing on a pallet. So we got a little transportation into our family Christmas pictures this year.
There you go.
And over on the right is the final curtain call for Fiddler on the Roof at Missouri Baptist University. And my daughter Naomi was the rabbi's daughter. Had 4 performances last week. She absolutely nailed it. She killed it. Had a lot of fun watching her up on stage. You're never going to see a girl more happy than up on that stage. So a lot of fun to see her doing that. And we got a couple of other things real quick. So check this out. A horse loose on a flight to Belgium.
I know.
This is crazy. Can you imagine loading up a horse onto an airplane? That's crazy.
No.
Oh, they do it all the time. I mean, the equestrians, the Olympic team puts them on that. But that horse died. That horse definitely died.
Think about that, though. Like a horse on a plane, like not locked in. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I always think it's weird that horses are in trailers and they're fine on that because, they don't know what's coming. I mean, they're just got to hold on.
They have stalls. They have customized stalls.
Well, yes, but they're in a stall, but they can't like if they slam on the brakes, they're going to hit something. Like
they're kind of locked in, but somebody
How
didn't
they
do
look
their job.
loose.
there's a little bit. There's a little gap there, Jeff. There's got to be, because people oftentimes get wedged in there a little bit. There's a little gap. They could slam into the side a little bit. I'm just saying, a horse loose on a plane. That's crazy. Good visual for today. All right, listen, Liz Anderson, thanks for being on the show. We appreciate you guys being here. We're going to go out today with a little M&M, and we'll see you guys next week right here on Word on the Street. Peace out, everybody. See you.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.